Hi guys, today I'm gonna show you a walkthrough of my Dear Life remix due to some requests I had in my Facebook group. Well, we'll start right away. I started making like a chord progression that would fit to this vocal. Cause I'll be in the clouds by tomorrow. We are only so it's like a kind of basic chord. When I've done that, I made this pluck MIDI. And really tried to make sure it all fit together. And then I started layering the chord with a few buzzers and a detune saw / square and the piano. And the buzzers sound like this. Oh, I have a high cut in the beginning. So it's a Nexus Eurobuzzer 1. And that one I have a little bit in the middle, not so much stereo. And then I have another buzz that goes in the left of the mix a little bit. King of Buzz 4. And together they sound really stereo. And then I had a detuned massive lead with square saws and a lot of voices to make it like really wide. I added some top notes just to make it like sound more interesting. And on top of that I have the actual bass chord line drop rhythm with the piano. It's a normal ballad Nexus piano, and to make it more interesting I added some I changed some of the end notes just to make like just to make it more interesting, and together they sound like this. That's that, and then I had a sub below it as well. That's a normal. I didn't really do anything. I EQ'd it and then took a normal ES1 Logic sub bass. Sub bass is the name of the preset. And then I added some Logic tight drums. They're Logic's own sample banks, and it sounds like this. They sound really amazing without any processing, so they are really easy to work with. I had some different rhythms just to make it like more interesting, so it goes a little bit. The MIDI changes some in every bar. And when we get close to the drop, I added a kind of high bell to cooperate with the vocal. It sounds like this. Oh yeah, just keep holding. Yeah, just to make it like a good, nice feel here. Because I really love how she sings there. And then we go to the kind of main sound in the drop, and it sounds like this. And just to layer it up a little bit, I added just a normal saw, sound like this. And it has like a legato slide to sound like and there's a lot of post-processing in this one. The wow filter does a lot on the phaser, just to like make it more interesting. And then the true verb to make it more like a roomy, sound like you're in a room. And it's like really dry, except for the room acoustics. And then I just looped the vocal, the end of it, and then pitch it up to make like a climax. And then we go to the drop. I have the same chords, but I split them up, like the piano in the break. So they sound like this. And then there's also the bell that goes in the same sound as this one. And the pluck and the bell is really stereo, to make it interesting in headphones and stuff like that. And then let's see, I added a bass as well, kind of a distortion, just a simple saw with distortion on it, sound like this. Yes, Silence own distortion, bit crusher. That goes along with the bass chords. And the bass is really on low midi, so it's really dark and warm. And I guess clap is like it's a snare on the clap. Really tight snare. Some Vengeance shit, and then there's a clap loop. So professional. And then I also had the vocal through the drop with LFO on it. And then at the end of the DOF I wanted to make like a real climax, so I added a really high synth. That sounds really disgusting all by itself, but with the whole thing it sounds good. And then for riser, I just made like, I wanted to make it interesting, so I put on this is normal in it, a saw, and then I added some phaser and chorus and distortion just to make it like sound interesting, and then a reverb to make it sound really wide and far away. And then there's another one from Anna. It's like a preset in the riser section, detune saw riser or something like that, just to make it really. And this was kind of cool. I added like a stutter effect on the vocal here. Kind of like the Ottono's remix of Lies. I don't know. Well, was it Lies? Yes. Well, whatever. And I guess that is that. And for the bass drops, I just used like the same rhythm as the break piano and as the chords in the drop. Sound like There's a long release saw, and then there's a Cavonius bass, and it's like yeah, I show you in the first video kind of how it sounds. And there's a Saturn with the distortion, and there's a lot of reverb on it, so it sounds really like big room. Yet it's not a big room track. And here's a pluck from Nexus, UK Pikes with the wow filter, and then I always add some white noise on the bass just to make it more like punchy. That's on the left side of the ears, and this is on the right side. It's a 909 snare. Together they sound like this, and then a sub in the same MIDI. Just to keep like a nice red line structure, I have had the drums from the break in the beginning, in the intro. It always sounds so good, the Logic Zone. Amazing. Yeah, that's it. As you could have seen, I had a lot of post-processing on the leads, on every lead. And on the kind of master, I just added a Fab Filter Pro L with plus 3 decibels just to like maximize the volume. And then I added some highs. If I would have bounced it today, I would have made it differently, but back then I didn't really care. The important thing is to mix. Thanks for watching. Bye.